Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of FFGLive. My name is Evan Johnson and today we are going to be doing a draft with some very special, very new cards. We have here a Convergence booster box. We've got the Allies of Necessity draft set and I'm joined by all of these other lovely people here.
I'm Brian, known to some as BK.
I'm Megan.
I'm Aaron, and I'm a developer that works with Jeremy on Destiny.
I'm Derek.
I'm Jeremy, lead designer of Destiny.
All right. So today we are going to be running a draft with Allies of Necessity draft set. We've got this box of Convergence booster packs, which is what we'll be using. An important note, we are not going to show every single card in the booster box. We will be showing all of the cards that Jeremy and Aaron draft. So basically we're going to run the draft. Jeremy and Aaron are going to show all of their cards, and we're going to kind of go through that and talk about building their decks. We will show all of the cards in Allies of Necessity. We will not be showing all the cards in this booster box. So just wanted to get everyone's expectations clear right up front. Let's crack this thing open and get rolling.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
We gave Aaron this job because he did such a good job opening the starter decks on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Crushing Matt Holland in that regard.
Yeah.
That's why he's not here.
Yeah. We took Matt Howland out back.
Yeah.
Well, we never had our tiebreaker, so
All
our
right.
fates are still in the air, I guess.
All right.
The box is open.
Let's see. So this will need to, we'll put this down in a second, but everybody grab some. Everyone grab 3.
Everyone got 3?
You just start.
Here, BK.
Oh, thank you, Megan.
Mine.
Wow, it's like Christmas over here.
There we go.
Makeup.
Have we got
I
enough
got
for
4.
everyone?
Excuse me.
All right.
Look
at these. These are the good
look
ones
at that.
right here.
Some precision shaking right now. All right, so we're going to open all of these. Basically, as we go along, Aaron's going to be showing the cards that he drafts in our handy-dandy little card display tool here, and talking a little bit about kind of what you're going for as you draft cards. We'll also be asking Jeremy some questions about draft strategy and what to kind of expect, what you should be looking for as you do your own drafts. So let's crack these guys open and see what we got.
That's the best part.
Oh yeah, throw your garbage on the floor.
Well, all right.
Sure.
The media team will clean it up.
A lot of red dice so far. Mine's on my side.
Must be very lucky you got 3 legendaries.
Whoa! Legendaries.
Legendaries.
You gonna spoil what those are for us?
Should we show the cards there?
Oh sure, yeah. Let's see those 2 legendaries that Jeremy got.
I think some of these have been spoiled already. That has.
Okay. We've got Palpatine's lightsaber
Whoa.
Yeah.
there. All right. And here's Enfys Nest. Very cool. All right. Oh, and here we go. Mega Blaster Troopers.
Nice.
All right. Let's go ahead and draft.
Boy, I don't know what I want to give you. Okay,
Aaron, what are you kind of looking for as you
Well,
start the draft here?
right away you got to look at the dice cards. You'll only have 3 dice cards to pick from, and usually you want to try to get a good amount of dice in your deck. So if you have a really good character, that you might go for a character and kind of start that way. But a lot of the times, a good upgrade or support is actually worth more. So that's kind of my conundrum right now, is I have 1 great character and 1 like decent upgrade, but I kind of want to start with upgrades more so I think I'm going with this one.
All right, why don't you pop that in and let's see what you drafted there. Jedi Holocron.
Ooh.
It does require you to have a Jedi, but
Oh.
we can get around that with the shapeshifter, which we'll see later.
Excellent. All right. So you can
Pass
probably
the
just
left,
put
right?
that there. Yes, passing to the left. Is everyone ready?
Yes.
All right, let's pass. Let's see here.
Oh man, alright.
Oh wow.
Everyone's deep in
How did
thought.
this
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm
How did
deep in
this
thought.
work
I have a question regarding drafting with Convergence.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to spoil it. I have an Unshackle in my hand here.
Mm-hmm.
How important is downgrade denial in the draft if you're using Convergence?
I won't say tremendously. Like, there can be good ones, but definitely wouldn't pick it highly.
Okay.
It's something to be taken into account, but overall, I think downgrades are, I don't know, like a lot of other cards. There can be some solid ones, but other ones are not the best things to play. So I won't be too concerned at taking cards that can discard them.
You're also not likely to have one big elite character that you really need to make sure operates at peak efficiency. You'll tend to run like a wider team with smaller, weaker characters, so it's not the end of the world if one of them gets downgraded.
Cool.
I'm going with this one. It's also been spoiled, but
All right.
Surisu training.
Yes. Very nice.
Solid upgrade. Hopefully I get the mastery, but probably not. We'll see.
All right, everyone ready to pass?
Yes.
All right. Jeremy, what are some of kind of the basic aspects of drafting strategy if someone hasn't really drafted much before or hasn't drafted much with Destiny?
Usually the first thing I try to do is try to improve upon my team. So we have the characters in the Allies draft set. They're solid, definitely serviceable, but there's clearly better ones to be drafted in booster packs. So I just try to, my first priority is try to find some better characters. If you can, try to maybe draft a really cheap character so you can go 3 colors. Those 3 colors get a lot more better cards in your deck, so
Yeah, absolutely.
when I'm drafting, once the dice are revealed, you can just kind of look to the right and see what dice cards you can expect to get possibly. So I guess right away you get 2 really cheap characters here, so I'm gonna get one of those. So I can know right off the bat that I can go 3 colors since those are such cheap characters. So
Right,
that helps tremendously. Starting right off the bat, knowing I can go 3 colors. Just take the best cards whenever I want.
I'm picking Quicksilver Baton this time.
Ooh, nice.
Solid upgrade. Again, cares about having leaders or troopers.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can get one of those.
All right.
And
Pass.
Everyone good?
Yep.
All right. Let's see here. People took all the dice cards. What a
Who did
shocker.
that?
had to happen.
Who would do such a thing?
Not me.
That choice was pretty clear.
We have someone in the chat asking, what should you be looking for card-wise when drafting Convergence other than legendaries?
For Convergence, character subtypes matter now, so definitely pay attention. That's another important thing about trying to decide on your team early. What subtypes to look out for. A lot of cards really care about subtypes, so having the right subtypes with the right characters is very important. So there's just a lot of strong cards that if you have the right subtype, they become much more powerful. So that's one big difference from the previous draft sets is now character subtypes are clearly a thing, so you got to pay a lot more attention to that, and it makes it a lot more fun and interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
This pick I'm taking Laser Tripwire,
All right.
which is a nice way to hopefully do 3 indirect
Yeah.
to your opponent since draft, has fewer dice cards to do damage with, so you gotta take that consistent damage wherever you can get it. It does have the downside of if I activate one of my characters before they do, it could blow up on me, but
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
Just don't forget where you laid that tripwire.
Let's see here.
So I guess besides dice cards, then important things to look for is also other cards that might have long-term effects, since draft games tend to be a lot slower than constructed games.
Mm-hmm.
So even just other support or upgrade cards that don't have dice can be good. Like there is
Mm-hmm.
a card called Smuggling Ring that's simply just 2 costs to forward exhaust it to gain a resource and gain an action. So something like that can be really strong in drafts. It's not the best card in constructed, but since draft games last a lot longer, you can get a lot more value out of it. So
Sure.
even something simple as that can be a pretty good pick.
Okay.
And of course, dice removal can be very strong too. 'Cause if your opponent rolls really well, you want to be able to have an answer to that and stop
Right.
them. So
Just like in standard games.
right.
Yeah.
So it's always good, dice removal.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. So I've got I got this plot actually here that I can draft. How important would you guys say plots are in the game? Maybe not this plot specifically, but just plots in general in draft. It seems like a good way to fill up some of those points.
Yeah, that's a great question. Alice draft set also has plots included now. That's a big difference from the Rivals draft set. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for plots if you want. It's like the characters in the draft set usually have a 2-point gap there for your team. So there's definitely ways to fill that with plots. So there's I think 4 plots in the draft set itself. So
Oh wow.
you have plenty of options there to choose from, but there's also some in the research packs as well. So I think it can be a very good pick to choose a plot that fits your team and fits your strategy. So
Yeah, totally. What are you picking this time, Aaron?
I'm going with War Hunter this time. Since you saw I took Jedi Holocron, I'm kind of going for abilities, and it's a nice ability. It's also really good for draft because it lets you look at cards from the top of your deck and try to dig for those upgrades, those dice cards that you really need.
Perfect.
Very nice.
All right, everyone ready to pass?
Let's do it.
Sir?
Wow.
How early do you guys usually kind of lock in on what you're going to be drafting? Would you say?
it really depends. Like this draft went really well. I got multiple cheap characters, so I have a lot of my team is in my mind pretty well set, so I can really start focusing in on other stuff. And if I didn't have that, I'd probably be focusing on 2 colors right now. Maybe in the next packs, if I get another cheap character, then I'm gonna do 3 colors. But if I don't, I definitely want to focus on 2 colors and not go 3 yet.
Sure, absolutely. Everyone ready to pass?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see what you drafted though.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm taking Forbidden Lore this time.
All right.
It's another thing that works with my abilities.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, reduces cost. Seems good.
I passed that to you. Thank you.
Collusion.
Yeah.
Oh, these cards are familiar.
To you, Meg.
This
Yeah.
is back
Jeremy
to
passed
back
it to
Rivals.
you.
Well, good point. Yeah, I guess it almost comes right back
Yeah,
around. Huh?
Seems like a good choice there.
Interesting.
Some people are asking, is it legal to play the Rivals draft set and Allies of Necessity in the same draft? Like some people have one and some people have the other.
That's definitely not recommended. Like everybody should have the same draft set. So
All right.
for casual play, if you want, I guess go ahead. But
Yeah, go nuts.
For like tournaments, no.
And if you're drafting Convergence anyway, Allies is specifically designed to work with that. And because of how many cards mention subtype in here, it's really useful to have
Sure.
kind of the cards to support that in the starter. So it'll be a lot better experience, I feel like, with Allies and Rivals anyway. So
That makes sense.
this time I took a Tale of Tragedy.
Oh.
Since I didn't take any characters with my first pull, I'll probably be running at least one of the draft characters. Since I'm taking a lot of blue, I'll probably be running Count Dooku. He's a Sith, so this will be online.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because it can turn anybody's dice. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, there you go. All right. Let's pick again. That seems like a good one. someone asking if Convergence and Allies are releasing at the same time since they're intended to go together. They're not releasing at exactly the same time. Allies of Necessity will be coming a little bit after Convergence drops. But not the normal gap between sets. It was going to come pretty shortly after Convergence.
This pick.
Spoilers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll take Command Center. Oh, should probably go this way.
Yeah, there we go.
I think
Battlefield.
since I'm taking Count Dooku, I could also take a blue plot, which you will see later, which can let you discard cards. So I might kind of go for a mill sub strategy here. Yeah.
All right.
Which isn't good now that you all know to take 30 cards. But
Is everyone ready to go?
Yes.
All right. That sounds pretty good.
Take that.
Let's see, Fernando Barbosa says, please keep doing these lives in the next months. They're amazing. Thank you. We will.
Wow.
We will keep doing live streams
Yay.
twice a week. Forever.
Tune in.
Until live streaming is no longer a viable form of marketing.
Next is holographics,
great.
which is very on brand.
Yeah.
So I'm branching out into yellow here.
Oh.
And I took this event because it lets you remove all dice that are not of the subtype that the player chooses. So that can be really helpful if your opponent's running 3 or maybe 4 characters. It'll be hard for them to all match up subtypes. You might be able to remove multiple dice for one resource there. So
Nice.
situational, but could be really strong.
Nice.
Sweet.
All right. Not a huge fan of any of these cards.
I love all of mine.
Actually know exactly what.
Megan's got a great deck going on over
Yeah,
here.
I do. You'll never see it.
Mhm.
This time I took Rendezvous,
Mhm.
partially so you can see the beautiful Chewbacca and
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi art.
Love it, love it.
So good.
But also because I know there are yellow characters in the draft set that have paid sides that it will work well with.
All right.
I purposely passed on that so we could get it on the stream.
It's all rigged.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Good combo. All right. The next card I'll take is for a price, which features Hondo and lets you turn a die to a resource side, so it'll combo
Yes.
beautifully with the card that I just took.
Everyone's favorite businessman.
There you go.
All right. Oh dear.
We're getting down to it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. This.
Mm.
Yes,
Sure.
I'll take that.
Sure.
Now, Strong Intuition.
Okay.
It's another thing that will let me dig for those dice cards, hopefully. Draw 3 cards, discard a card.
Draw 3 cards. Nice.
Yep.
Oh, good. Good. Yes. That. Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Oh boy. Okay.
Alright.
Yep. What do you got there?
It's a red card, so I might not be able to play it, but I'm hate drafting, keeping you from it. Because I think it's a good card. It's kind of like Tactical Mastery with another hoop to jump through there, too. But it's got beautiful Amidala and Nexu art there.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll play around your hate drafting.
Okay. And now I'll take the Best Defense, which is just
Okay.
a really solid removal card, which
Yeah.
removal is also pretty important
Card's been around for a while.
in draft. Yep.
But some cool new art on that. All right, and then we just get the card that we got.
What a gift.
That last card.
I'm
You're
stuck
welcome.
with another strong intuition, but that works for me. Cool.
Yeah, that definitely seems like it works for you.
You're welcome.
All right, so now we need some more packs. Woo!
More packs.
Woo! There we go.
It really is Christmas.
No.
Do I only get 3 more?
Died
Yeah?
just
Yeah,
because.
yep,
Yep.
we only get 3 more.
Alright, I guess these 3 are mine here. Oh man.
I'm struggling.
The bottom's easier.
Oh, that's where I went
Oh,
from.
nice.
Okay.
Check it out.
Ain't a true man.
It's like so joyful to just throw the trash on the floor.
Oh man.
Knowing full well we will pick it up later
Yeah.
because we are good citizens.
That's right.
Yes.
Don't litter.
Right.
Yep.
Oh man. I know someone who's going to be pretty happy to see this. I told someone that I'd show this if I drafted it. So
Oh man.
I've got the new Ahsoka Tano
There you go.
right there. So that is definitely pretty cool.
Okay, one more.
Yeah.
Leave it up there for a little bit, Evan.
Yeah, move it back up there. That's
Get your
sweet.
screenshots. Come on. Hurry up. We got a draft to do.
Yeah.
Ain't got all day.
All right.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Oh. Gosh.
Nice.
Decisions.
Well, be glad I'm not playing in the match because
These dice do not work for me. I would trade somebody. Ugh. Okay.
This is a pretty interesting pack of cards.
Oh yeah, let's look around at what everyone else pulled.
We'll be passing it right this time.
Correct.
yeah, we're passing the other way.
Yep.
Yes.
Sure.
All right. All right. Where are you picking there?
I'm taking Vigilant Jedi this time.
Okay.
Nice,
Uh,
nice.
All the characters I opened this time were also blue, so I'm still sticking with that. But he's only 8 cost and pretty solid. He's got a ability to remove dice in there, hopefully. So
Yeah.
Sweet.
Nice.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Pass on over. Are these my cards here?
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
these are mine.
All right. Hmm.
Okay. Cool.
What are you looking at?
I'm doing math
You're
here.
doing math.
Doing
Yeah.
math.
Oh,
That doesn't
yeah.
sound like
Wow,
something
yeah.
you would need to do.
We've entered the stage where I need to really work out my pairing here. I mean, I probably should have done that earlier, but
Nah.
Now's as good a time as any.
Oh, that seems pretty sweet. All right.
I think I will
Oh, wow,
take
it's like
Ahsoka.
how nicely you have your dice organized.
You know, yellow's my
All
favorite.
right.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Another-
trade you
It's
this
true.
now.
I did
no.
pass on her. I'm not going blue.
Not on
I
it.
thought about the hate draft, but
Another cheap 8-pointer, but she's an apprentice and will activate some
Yeah.
of those apprentice cards.
absolutely.
Has great sides for her cost if you can get her paired up with enough melee. So.
All
Cool.
right.
Sweet.
All right. What do we got left here? Oh boy.
Hmm.
Well,
I think I'll take.
I've got to take
Interesting.
that.
Interesting.
There were other great options, but people need to know. Crime Lord reprint,
Oh.
legendary reprint. Get ready for it. And maybe I'll even have enough resources piled up in one of these games to make it happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
Could happen in draft.
All right. Everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Come on,
Kind of.
Megan.
Kind of.
Come on, team.
It's so hard to decide.
There's so many choices.
My new plan is just to take all the battlefields.
Great.
So, Jeremy, we've already kind of touched on this a little bit, but what would you say are the key differences between drafting with rivals and drafting with allies of necessity? Is it more just kind of paying attention to those subtypes, or are there other differences as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think sometimes the biggest thing is the draft set itself is very different. You know, you got 4 plots there now. It's makes deck building have much more important, a lot more choices, and there's the characters in there also kind of tend to reward going like certain colors. Each have a power action that rewards you by playing the card of the correct color there. So the rivals draft is quite easy to go 3 color. This one's maybe not as easy, but also you don't maybe necessarily want to go 3 color. Like, we get enough of your 2 colors with your 2 characters in your draft set, you can trigger those power actions much more consistently every round.
Right.
Those can be some pretty powerful actions.
Absolutely. What do you got there?
So this time I took attunement, which is a pretty interesting design direction. I feel like cares about the symbols that you roll on your dice, and specifically trying to get all 3 of those so you can get maximum value out of the event. So, and since I'm running a lot of blue, I might have a good enough amount of melee and shield to make that happen.
Makes sense to
Making
me.
it spots blank sounds good to me, man. That's all
Oh
I
yeah.
All right.
Hmm. Okay.
See if we have any cards or any questions in the chat here.
I've got my pick.
Okay, what do you got?
It's an oldie but a goodie, Isolation
Mm-hmm.
reprint with Kylo Ren art.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice. That's pretty sweet.
You all good?
Yep, I think we're good.
Which one's a legendary?
Ooh, oh man.
Ooh,
Oh
this is a
man.
hard choice
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
We've got the Spirit, we've got Crime Lord.
Man, how
The 2
I'm
Jeremy head.
disappointed in everyone here passing on Dengar, my personal favorite Star Wars character.
Derek, I just have to say, it was a very hard choice for me. I passed it along,
man.
hoping it would get to you.
I also thought about taking it,
Yeah.
but I was also thinking of Derek at the time.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
to rearrange my whole draft strategy, but since I'm not going to play, I'm going to take him.
All right. Well,
He made me wish I was taking bounties all
Yeah.
along for
Yeah.
no reason.
Yep.
you might be happy in a couple more rounds here. Let me tell you.
We have
What I think.
a rules
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Actually,
like,
do the same rules apply with Phasma, Captain Phasma in the draft? You have to have drafted the dice to use them.
Correct.
All right, there you have it. That is correct.
This time I drafted Back to Therapy, which costs 2 and lets you heal equal to the number of upgrades on you, which it's going to be hard to get 3 upgrades going, but any healing in draft at all is probably at a premium, and it can discard an injury, so if somebody hits me with one of those downgrades.
Yeah.
Spotted.
good.
All right. There you are.
I peaked early, sorry guys.
Get out. That's my choice.
Wait, I'm just falling apart here. Not passing you the card I picked, I'm passing you.
The whole draft evolves into chaos.
Cards flying.
I took Instigate this time.
All right.
with Cassian and K2 there. And it's just a nice little action cheating card. You can give a little burst of speed and hopefully keep control of the battlefield.
Very nice. Getting down to it.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I thought you would like that one.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. This time I am taking Twin Strike with sweet Asajj of Interest art. And hopefully I'll have enough blue melee dice that it'll be relevant to me. Probably wouldn't be to any of the rest of you, but some unblockable damage would be nice.
There you are.
Alright.
This time I took Convergence, the titular card.
That's the name of this set. Hey.
And it lets you discard a card equal to the number of characters you spot with the same subtype. So that might only be 2 in my case, maybe 3. We'll see what happens.
I mean, there are no dice with values higher than that, right?
But it'd be a great card for like a 4 Jawa deck, 4 Jawans and yellow character.
Oh, there you go. Or Jawa.
Are you passing, Evan?
I'm passing it if we're ready.
Yes.
All right.
Sorry, trying to maintain some order here in this.
Yeah. This
Thank you
draft
very
is just
much.
all over the place. So disorganized.
This time I took a Deflecting Slash.
I love that art.
Yeah,
It's so
really
cool.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Already been spoiled, and I know that I don't have Sarisu Mastery, but it's still an activate and a removal, so.
There you have it. Let's see here. These are all pretty alright, actually. I think.
Give that a go. Okay. I took Fit of Rage.
So angry.
Removes all the shields from your opponent, so. Yeah.
Awesome.
All the characters?
Yeah.
Wow.
Could be like a 9 or 12 health swing. Probably not.
Up to 12 health.
That seems good. I tell you, other than my bold Dengar choice, I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
I took Near Miss this time, since there's a lot of similar subtypes running around. I just have to be able to spot 2 Sith or something, and I can remove a die.
Alright.
Very nice.
Sure.
I guess we'll go with that.
Yeah.
That's alright.
I'm going with Shock Collar. Not the most efficient downgrade, but in draft where there's lots of rounds, it's one of those that might be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well,
Alright.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
hate draft that so you can have it.
There you go.
Taking Truce.
Oh man, that's the one.
If I
right
need
there.
money, I'll have money.
And then the cards that we each get
Alright.
passed.
Oh, thanks,
Nice.
Megan.
You're welcome.
Straw
Just what I
Chinchin
needed.
with Wicked.
Alright.
I love
Awesome.
that little.
So that is...
That's our day.
That wraps up the draft portion. So now we're going to say farewell to some of our people.
So long.
And then I'm going to sit here with Aaron and Jeremy. We're going to crack open Allies of Necessity and take a look at what Jeremy's drafted. Throw that up on the on the stream here. And here we go.
These dice.
So, yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for sitting with us and drafting with
Thank
us.
you.
Yeah, it was a party.
Yeah.
Liked
Let's go
it.
play at the kids' table.
Yeah, you guys can go and make your decks over there.
Okay, yeah. Can I take my dice?
No, you have to leave them.
I know.
All right, I'm gonna roll mine before I leave, though. You ready?
All right, yeah.
Oh man, wow.
Great
that
stuff.
seems
Good.
all right.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a destiny roll. Is what that seems
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Really
All right.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.
All right.
All right.
I swing around.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Jeremy, do you want to kind of walk us through first sort of what you were drafting, what you were going for? We can just throw those cards up here on the stream one by one, kind of as you talk about them, if
Sure.
if that works. Yeah. All right.
So my first pick was Palpatine's lightsaber.
Yeah.
So I had my 3 legendaries to start with. So I had Emphas Nest. She's 14 points, which is not a very good number to start with. It's ideally you want like a 13. That way, I guess when I open this, we can discuss cards as well. Then would that be better? Or
Yeah. Sure. That makes sense.
Because the draft characters in Allies Necessity have there's a 2 11s, a 10, and a 6. So 14 doesn't quite work that well with those. Like it for a yellow 14, since the 10-point character is also yellow in the draft set.
All right.
And the Mega Blaster Troopers, you need to draft the First Order Stormtroopers to really make it worthwhile. I mean, it's okay by itself, but I feel it's just better if it's a 2-cost solid upgrade. That sometimes will get you money back as well.
You still have your knife, Aaron?
Yeah.
You want to open that up?
Sure.
My fingernails are inadequate to the task. Got another
Right.
card to throw up here.
Next pick was Quarren Tracker. So since he's only 8 points, he lets me go Count Dooku for 11 points, Fenrir 11 points, him for 8 points.
That
So
seems like adds up to 30.
a nice solid team in my opinion. So, and since he cares about having bounties, I also had a little bit more high priority on drafting bounties.
All right, so you were calling out. Let's see. All right, so what cards from? We've got those cards in there if you want to reference some
I
of
guess
those.
originally I was thinking my team would be these together.
Sure.
Just a nice solid 30 points,
So we've got Count Dooku there.
26 health,
Yep. And Fenrir as well.
all 3 colors, so gives me maximum flexibility of what cards to draft, so
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
very good. And then you got some supports started coming around, or dice cards, so I just started picking those.
Yeah. V-wing.
I almost prefer supports over upgrades, since upgrades, unless they redeploy, can be discarded once the character is defeated. So it's kind of nice just to have supports. They'll probably be there all game, since draft games can last quite a while. You want those dice cards to stick around as long as possible. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I really drafting supports. I was also lucky to get a couple more.
Oh, nice. A couple vehicles.
A few vehicles here. Also
Yeah,
that one. So
that seems pretty good.
yeah, I was able to get some nice supports going there. I had another kind of little risky one here. We'll see if it's worth playing or not.
Oh, interesting.
It can backfire, so
That card still gives me like a heart attack back from the Star Wars LCG days. That art was reused.
yep. So it might not make the cut, but it is a very efficient die if you can maintain control of the card. And I think that was about it for my dice cards in my deck. Oh, I actually did get a late pick here.
Oh, nice.
I was very
Yet
happy.
another vehicle.
Yeah, very happy to see that come around. Like,
Yeah, I'll take that.
I guess another reason to try and pick some bounties too, to try to ready that, get more maximum value out of it. So I was very satisfied with my dice cards for the draft. A lot of supports here can last all game, and I got quite a bit of range. A lot of synergy there with, and then of course Fenrir, since got 3 red ones as well to trigger his power actions as often as possible. So I was quite pleased with those.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I just started focusing. I guess I can go through my bounties really quick. I was able to grab a few of them.
All right, here's the bounties. Got a death mark. There's another one.
So those will help with my Corrin tracker and Punisher one as well.
Mm-hmm.
And bounties in draft they tend to be, I think, fairly solid.
Mm-hmm.
Most teams are 3-character teams, so it's much easier to kill since they usually have a lot lower health in constructed games. It's easier to get these to trigger much sooner. Since a lot of teams will be using the Claudite Shapeshifter. It's only 6 health, so
Mm-hmm.
it can be, I don't know, a nice decision to go for bounties and have them pay off a lot sooner than maybe constructed games. And to get another just random downgrade there, it's
Yep.
definitely not the most efficient, but
Mm-hmm.
if you need to fill your deck out, it's doable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I started really focusing on just removal. I was able to get quite a bit of good removal. That's a
Mm-hmm.
nice card. 0 cost removal. Another 0 cost removal, 2 of my favorites in the set.
Oh yeah, that card is great.
Mm-hmm.
I guess 0 cost removal isn't as good in drafts usually since the games tend to last longer. Sometimes you get a lot of resources just sitting around. And so 0 cost maybe isn't quite as good as constructed, but
Mm-hmm.
still very playable. I got another great removal card there. It's all my range size, it goes very well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Resolve on a range dice and knock out a character die or upgrade die that I do damage to, and very good value there. And then some other removal ones that go with my bounties, just having downgrades overall.
Mm-hmm. So in a draft, a deck can be between 20 and 30
20 and
cards.
30.
Do you typically, if you have the cards and the options, do you skew towards one end or the other?
Yes, definitely
okay.
towards 30.
Yeah.
Since draft games,
Go so long.
They tend to take quite a while, so
Yeah.
I've seen many games end me by somebody getting decks. So
Yeah.
I tend to do close to 30, if not doing 30. If you have 30 solid cards, it's probably worth playing them all.
Right. Right.
Players will have so few good dice out there, they're gonna keep discarding to re-roll and try to get the value out of them, and
Yeah.
really burn through their deck pretty quickly that way.
Yeah.
It tends to happen a lot in draft games since a lot of your dice are more inconsistent overall, less ways to turn your dice and set them. So there's a lot more re-rolling. So
Mm-hmm.
having just extra cards to discard to re-roll is very important. And it is like a mill archetype out there, like that is viable. I don't know how much Aaron was going for or not, but there is a deck out there that can be pretty strong at mill. So
Sure.
I think I definitely recommend going close to 30, if not 30.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking of Dooku and his lightsaber and the blue plot. Have we showed those yet? Should we show
Yeah.
those?
Let's grab some of the stuff from in Rivals
No,
here.
we've showed Dooku.
So we showed
before.
Dooku. Here's his lightsaber.
That's not a great solid upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Works better if you played on Dooku.
Yep, and that's kind of a theme for this set as well, right?
Yeah.
Having the upgrades that key off of there.
That's my
Their
theme
owners.
for
For a
about
little while.
the past year now. Been trying
Yeah.
to do more of that. Just
Yeah.
feels fun. And got a little more of a reward
fun.
if you play the right character.
Then we got that blue plot there.
And that's part of why I was drafting so many blue cards as well, is I wanted to make sure I could trigger that every round and
Right.
at least scare them with the discard, if not win that way.
Right. Absolutely.
What's
Here-
your team then?
I'm thinking Ahsoka, Outer Rim, Outlaw, and Dooku. I'd still waste a point, but
Mhm. Here's the Outer Rim Outlaw. All right, so you got that over there. Let's see. Do you have any other cards that you drafted that you want to call out here?
Yeah, there's another
right.
can be a very powerful removal card there.
Yeah.
Any 2 dice at all, so I'll gladly play that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got quite a bit of removal, so I was very pleased with this draft deck.
Yeah.
There's some kind of fun ones here that are.
Oh yeah, I picked up that card as well in my draft.
It's fun to try to see how much value you can get out of these. Like
Right.
if you get all 3, it's amazing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's another thing to pay attention to draft. What kind of dice you have, what kind of faces, to see how often you can try to get max value out of these. Here's a blue one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's a cycle, 1 for each color.
Right. That makes sense.
nice, very good card since draft can be very inconsistent. So any way to turn your dice to a certain size can be very powerful, and this can turn 2 dice for 1. That's very good. So you got 2 unique characters. So there's a good chance they'll be able to play that mid to late game, definitely late game.
Right.
And there's several reprints I have. They're just good solid cards. Field Medic. New art, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been digging all the new art on the reprinted cards. It's very cool.
Yeah, all reprints have new art, so it's another nice feature.
Yeah.
Probe, another great solid card. So. And then maybe not the best card in my deck since I don't have very many upgrades, but
Right.
other decks would definitely love playing that. And yeah, it's pretty much most of my deck. I guess what cards haven't we seen yet?
Yeah, are there any in there we haven't seen yet?
Maybe this one.
All right. Is that one? Hunt them down.
Another reward for going Bounties. It's kind of an archetype, try to go Bounties, and
Right.
I've been trying to do that now with my Quarren Tracker, punishing one, hunt them down, prey upon. I was able to get 3 Bounties, so I think it's
Yeah.
a pretty good solid start.
That all fits together pretty nicely.
And
It works really well with bounty since it's also, a burst of damage that can kill the guy with the bounty.
Yeah.
I believe we've seen all the rest of these now due to Tuesday's stream. There's some cards
Okay.
in here as well, so
Okay. Awesome. So with Convergence now, we're entering sort of a new base set for Star Wars Destiny. We've talked a lot about what kind of sets this set apart from previous sets and all of that. But another big event that's coming up is Rotation with the
Yes.
release of this. How do you guys kind of expect that to affect and change the metagame? Are there certain decks that you can see like rising or falling from prominence?
yeah, I think that there'll be a very big change. Definitely looking forward to it. It's always fun to see, all the cards rotate out and see what new cards will maybe rise up to the top now. Since the first cycle did have a lot of very powerful cards, so I'm very curious to see what players come up with to try to, replace those cards, and of course just having brand new decks, very exciting. So yeah, I think there'll be a lot of changes. So a lot of those previous tier 1 decks will, a lot of them will get a pretty big nerf overall. So. It's hard to say what's going to be the best decks. That's one of the funnest things is just to let the players discover it themselves and
Yeah, absolutely.
see what happens.
Absolutely. So I think that, or I guess, did you have anything to say on the rotation? Anything to add to that?
I could, make more specific predictions that, the Vader Greedo deck that's been kind of the top of the regional season will probably lose a lot with,
Sure.
no friends in high places and, yeah. Some of those key cards, I think, will bring it back in line, but hopefully Vader's still around, just not so
Yeah.
dominant.
I mean, we want Vader to be
We want
around.
Vader to be around.
I'm sure you will be.
Seems likely.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll just kind of show the rest of the cards from Allies of Necessity as we talk. I'll just kind of put them up here and we'll keep talking about it.
Sure.
Rivals had all neutral characters, and with this you guys made the switch to hero, villain, and neutral. What was kind of behind that switch and that change?
It's just to show that on draft set you don't need neutral characters. You can play hero or villain cards in your deck, so you also do the same thing with characters. So I just wanted to kind of show again the affiliation doesn't matter in draft. So unless there's certain cards that might play off that, but overall, let me show let's do some more unique characters, more maybe recognizable ones we couldn't normally do, since neutral characters are tough to do in Destiny. There aren't that many that really fit, so this just gives us a lot more options for the future.
What are some of the other kind of big differences that you guys see between Rivals and Allies of Necessity?
I guess I really prefer, Rivals is very simple and straightforward, so I want to take this in a whole more different direction, try to give players a lot more choices, a lot more interesting drafts, so really try to give, team building much more focus there with 4 plots now, as you've seen some of them.
Yeah.
Each color gets one, so it helps tremendously in trying to draft, since each plot can kind of be its own archetype. This one, I'd love to play this one with so many of my supports. That could be fantastic if you don't draw an extra card potentially every round. Makes me really maybe want to focus on taking supports. There's other ones that, like you saw the one Aaron's playing, there's maybe a mill archetype right there with that plot. So, and have you seen the yellow one yet?
That's about to come up in a sec. Yeah.
So we really like having stuff like this in the draft set that give players, maybe something to focus on, a direction to take. That could be a different archetype as well. I guess I wouldn't mind having that either. Like I got potentially 4 downgrades to play, so just being able to do extra damage every round could be very useful. Good.
So kind of incentivizing specific card types for you to draft, and then the characters themselves are incentivizing particular colors for you to draft. So you're not just taking all the good stuff. Maybe you're trying to specialize a little more along the way.
Right.
Hopefully with this draft set.
Right, compounding kind of even more of that strategic decisions into the process of the draft.
That's the important thing we try to do is try to make color matters more. Since the rivals, there's nothing that really pushes you into going certain colors.
Sure.
This one, with each character having a power action that rewards you for playing a card of that color, can really push players in more of a direction. I want to really focus on these 2 colors.
Yeah, I guess kind of in line with that that train of thought, is there a difference between designing a character for a draft set versus for a set of boosters?
Oh, definitely.
And kind of elucidate on that, like what goes into that?
It's like these ones in particular, we want to make sure, like, that's the theme of this draft set is like color matters. So right off the bat, we knew we wanted to do something where rewards players for playing cards of that colors, the character's color. So he thought it's just a simple way to do this. You just have a power action, just to play a card that color and get a nice little bonus. It's fairly simple, straightforward. So the Rivals draft set, because that was a little bit more just basic, simple stuff. I guess Anakin was my favorite character in that draft set since I cared about affiliation, since usually in draft doesn't matter. But
right.
with Anakin, it felt very thematic to have him. He's conflicted, so you try to do more villain cards, more hero cards, and it's kind of a neat little aspect when you're drafting to actually have someone else to pay attention to. But I guess like Lobot, Ketsu also just very simple, straightforward cards. Jawa, nothing too particular.
Right.
This one also has a Callite Shapeshifter, so
yeah,
which can be very strong, very useful card to have on your team. Since you activate it, now it can be any character subtype you want. So that's a very useful ability since a lot of cards care about that. So
that definitely makes sense. So one card that I'll put up right here, right now. So this is the titular card of the pack, the draft pack, and the first kind of -2 point plot.
Yeah.
What were some of the challenges with designing this card specifically?
Very challenging. Like
Yeah.
It's a Pandora's box right there.
Yeah.
just negative plots overall are very challenging since we've never really, up until that point, tested any teams that could be more than 30 points. So it's like, what could we potentially be unleashing here? Like, who knows? So to go from -1 to -2, then like that's way more challenging, way more scary. Like there's so many teams out there that could be just amazingly strong. So we had to put some restrictions on there. So I think those restrictions you put on there are pretty solid. So it's
Right.
I think it's tough to really get a great value out of that card. I mean, you never know. We'll see, but
Up there.
like for constructed, that's some big drawbacks. That's losing 2 resources right off the bat. That's some serious drawbacks. So
Yeah.
but it has to be, otherwise, yeah. I mean, -2 is insane. So it has to be some appropriate drawbacks to that.
Right. Yeah, there are just some crazy teams that you can make now with that. How do you kind of expect this draft set to affect the standard game beyond just drafting?
I guess that's a good question. I think one of the biggest things is these plots. There's some very solid plots in there. Like we've seen, some vehicle decks are very prominent. So getting a red plot there that can let them draw a card every round could be very advantageous to them. So there's also another strong plot out there, Armored Reinforcement currently. So it's probably not nearly as strong as that,
Right.
which would be a good thing. But there's other plots too that can really help with that.
Yeah.
The yellow plot could really help bounty hunters and decks that care about downgrades in general.
Right.
Like even some characters, potentially you could see competitive play like Dooku. They have a little bit lower health, and some drafts you kind of want teams that have too much health, but they're efficient for elite. Only 2 more points to get them elite. So
Yeah, that's
even,
nice.
Even like Dooku could see some constructive play. So, but most of the cards are focused on draft. Make sure draft is as best we can make it, and ideally make some cards also hopefully playable and constructed.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Well, that is about all that we have. Unless Aaron, I guess we haven't really talked too much about your deck. Do you have do you want to kind of? They've seen your cards, but you can talk through.
I think Jeremy's got the much better deck. So let me preface it with that. But yeah, I think I'm sticking with blue and yellow, kind of trying to go for the mill theme. I didn't get enough upgrades in here, I think, to make the Jedi Holocron or the Back to Therapy really pay off. So, probably not a great deck. But that's draft for you.
Well, you know, sometimes it
sometimes
happens.
you just fly by the seat of your pants.
Yeah, it can be very fun going for mill. It's a very different strategy.
Right, right. Right.
It's all about just the long game, trying to control your opponent, play defensively, and take advantage whenever you can. I mean, there are quite a few cards that can help with that. So,
Yeah, I do think rounding it out with the draft set, I would go for all the removal, and then I would cut out some of these like moneymaker cards and stuff, because I don't think I would go aggro. I think I would just try to have more health than you, more removal than you, outlast you, and
Right, absolutely.
win the discard game.
Yeah. That
Maybe
makes sense.
Crime Lord you.
there you go. You never know.
Yeah, those resources can count up. All right. So, do you guys have anything else that you want to comment on or say to the fans, especially as regards to Convergence and Allies of Necessity at this point?
I guess I'm really looking forward to what you guys come up with. There's a whole new metagame to explore, so I can't wait to see what everybody does.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, so much for watching. As always, be sure to click subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we post new content. Join us next Thursday at 1 p.m. That's February 28th. We're taking next Tuesday off because we are working on building our new set, which is very exciting. So we'll be in that, not on February 28th, but in the near future, you guys will be able to see that. February 28th, 1 week from today, we'll be playing some Keyforge there. Make sure that you like us and subscribe on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, etc., etc. And thank you all so much. We'll see you next week.